Hey everybody, it is Karla Silver. Welcome to our conversation today. A couple of things before we get started. First of all, if this is the first time you're meeting me, again, my name is Karla Silver. I help entrepreneurs build and automate their businesses so you can make more money, but most importantly, spend more time with the people that you love most in your lives. And isn't that why we got into business in the first place? And I am going to introduce my colleague here today in a second. But before we get going, just a couple of things. We definitely want this to be the advertised a Q&A. So that means interactive, but that also means that I'm not going to mute you, and I'm going to hope that you are able and willing to be in charge of your own muting. Also, just be aware on Zoom, you are definitely, if you have your camera on, just remember you're on camera. And if you have your audio on, please remember you're on audio. So super excited to be here with you today. We're going to be talking leadership today. And this is such a conversation that is near and dear to my heart. But before we get there, I'm going to briefly introduce my colleague here, Carrie, as somebody that came on my scene almost 2 years ago, which is incredibly crazy to think of. She's an entrepreneur in her own right. She's a best-selling author. She's a best-selling author of Run Yourself Happy, which is probably the coolest title ever. It almost makes me want to put on running shoes, but not quite. But she's an amazing entrepreneur, copywriter, coach. She's also a co-coach of my top producer mastermind, and I'm the how-to girl. I talk about tactics, things to do, what I like to call the ground war in entrepreneurialism or entrepreneurship. There, I got the word correct. And she's all about the air war, the things that go on in our head. And you cannot win this entrepreneurial war without winning the air war first. And then we can teach you all the tactics and things that you need to know to grow your business. So Carrie, come out here and say a couple of words before I hit the real intro.
Yeah. Hey, everybody. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad to see familiar faces and some new faces. And I'm so excited for this conversation because, you know, Karla and I each have done a lot of things in our lives and businesses. But this, for me personally, what we're talking about today, leadership, authentic leadership, becoming that person that you want to be, that's been like the thread through everything that I do. So I'm all fired up about talking about what we're talking about today, because like Karla says, right, none of the other things really matter if you don't have this. So excited that you're here, excited to hop into the training. And yeah, I see a few people hopping on. So just reminder, mute yourself when you come on, and make sure that if you don't want to be seen, your camera is covered. And if you do want to be seen, that you turn your camera on. But yeah, we don't want to see or hear anything we're not supposed to.
But I do want to encourage you. Hey, Tina, I do want to encourage you guys to turn your cameras on. This is, again, we want to be interactive, and I sure want to see your face. So if you can, please do that. I understand that there are a couple of people at work and that can't at this moment, but I want to encourage you to do that. So before we get too far into our conversation today, I want to make sure that you're in the right place. Right, that this is not, I don't want to waste your time and our time either. I want to make sure that you're in the right place. So this is for you if, like me, for quite a few years, you're struggling to grow your team. You're in a network marketing company, or you're not in a network marketing company, but you're struggling to grow your business. If you're in a network marketing, you're struggling to attract those people to your team, and maybe you're starting to get some traction, but people aren't getting started, or not enough people are getting started as business builders or customers. So if you feel that you're in a place where maybe you know you have to grow a team, but you feel you have to be successful before you can attract that team, those team members, that's a very awkward place to be. It's actually not this. It's sitting on a fence and feeling uncomfortable with a nail in your butt. If you've been told to fake it till you make it, and that feels bad to you, well, it should, because you should never have to fake it till you make it. And don't ever feel that you need to. If you are feeling that way, we're going to help you obliterate that feeling for sure. Sometimes maybe this is for you if you just sometimes don't feel like you're enough. Like you've got other stuff to do. You're being pulled by your family. You're being pulled by your job. You're being pulled by your financial responsibilities. You've been pulled by your spiritual and physical and health things that you've committed to, and you've got this business. How do you juggle all of those and position yourself in a place where people are going to follow you, where people are going to get started with you? If you feel like, oh, and this is the big one for so many people, that if this is for you, if you get started doing what you need to do and then you just don't follow through, and then you get started and you don't follow through, we're going to help you obliterate that. And I just threw this one in there this morning. Carrie and I were talking, and I said, oh my gosh, what we're going to be teaching is if you feel like you've been told, right? We've all been told, get on Facebook Live, right? Get on Facebook Live. And that Facebook's giving us this amazing gift, and we should be on there taking advantage of it and growing our teams. And you see a ton of other people doing it, but you're not doing it because there's something internally holding you back. We got your back. If none of those things are for you and you're not looking at exploring any of those, you're good with all of the things that I mentioned, then our time together is ended. And I invite you to go off because you got bigger, better things, better fish to fry. But if any of those things are something that you want to begin addressing in our conversation here today, you're definitely in the right place. So I want to should I tell my story? Oh, I'll tell this quick story. So when I got started as an entrepreneur, and guys, it hasn't not been all unicorns and money bags thrown into my bank account. For the first at least 2 years, I totally suffered. I was awful. I struggled at everything. I was doing what the company told me to do. And the leaders of that company would tell me, well, just go out and be the leader. And I'd be like, okay, I guess. So I go do my thing. And the company, I'd be, all right, I have very little results, right? I can't pay my electric bill even. And what do I do? Well, go be the leader. And then we get all these personal development things about be, do, have. And for those of you that have hung around me for a long time know that I do talk about be, do, have a lot. But at that time, I had no idea what that meant. I had no idea. I struggled with everything that I just shared with you. We didn't have Facebook Live back in the olden days, but I struggled with getting myself out there. I struggled with the system. I struggled with getting people started. I struggled with how am I going to attract a bunch of people to my team if I haven't had results yet? So I know that things can change for you very, very, very quickly. They changed for me almost on a dime. And I'll tell you how that happened at the end of our conversation here today. So I'll leave that open loop for you guys. In the meantime, we want to help you. We've got a short training that Carrie's going to share with you today on discovering your leadership type. And so I'm going to hand it over to Carrie. Carrie, take it away.
Yay, thanks. And I have one more. This is for you if. This is for you if you believe in what you have to offer. So whether that's a product you're standing behind or whether that's a service that you deliver, you believe wholeheartedly in what you have to offer. You know that it is life-changing, and yet you don't feel confident offering it. You feel awkward and sweaty and something that somehow you know that the product or service is amazing, but there's something that doesn't feel good in you when you are selling or offering. Girlfriend and boyfriend, this is for you. I always feel weird calling people boyfriends. So girlfriend, this is for you, and dudes, you too. Okay, I have some slides. So I'm going to share my screen and hope that this goes well. So Karla, let me know. Okay, I'm sharing my screen. Now I have to move something. Can you still see my face?
I can.
Okay, so I'm going to hit present, and hopefully it goes to a big screen. It's taking a second. There we go. Okay, I can still see some of you, but I can't see all of you anymore. And I think that you can still see me. I'm trying to find a place to put all your faces where I can still read my slides. Okay, here we go. So Yes, you're here to discover your leadership style. What is your leadership type? We are going to discover your leadership style today. Oops, I'm hitting a button and nothing's happening. Maybe I can't. Oh, I think I moved you. Oh, there you are. Never mind, figuring it out. Become the leader you're meant to be. That's why you're really here. That's my mission in this training today, is to help you get one step closer to becoming that leader that you are meant to be. And why you need to become a leader is because leaders create cultures. At least that's what I believe. And you want to create a culture of success. So whether you're a network marketer bringing people into your team, whether you're a coach and you work with people and you want them to be successful, right? You want the energy that you live in to be a culture of success. Crossing my fingers that it worked. Okay. So I have a question for everybody. And that is, do you need to be a leader in your company or in your niche to achieve your goals? So I just want you to think about what your business goals are, and answer that question honestly for yourself. Do you need to be a leader in order to achieve your goals?
Guys, put your answers in the chat. I'd love to see them.
Yeah. Because it's not like yes is necessarily the right answer. But Carla, I can't see the chat, so let me know what's coming in.
Got it.
But the reason I'm asking this question is for awareness on your part, because what we're going to talk about today is bigger than like being a leader in your company or being seen as an authority in your niche. And I'm seeing chats come in. So tell me what you got, Carla.
I've got some yes, some no.
All right. So what I want to know from the no's when I see more coming in is, if you don't need to be a leader in your company in order to achieve your goals, then I want to know why you're here. Then what is it about becoming the leader that you're meant to be, or discovering your leadership style, that has you curious? And this is purely informational for me and Carla to know who we're talking to. Okay, but I'm going to move through this quickly because I really want to have a conversation with you guys. So Carla, as you're reading the chat, stop me if anything becomes relevant. You guys should know right off the bat, I am a conversational leader among other types, but one of my leadership types is conversational, which means I do best in conversation, which is why I've chosen, right, Carla and I have chosen to lead this training together in a conversation. Okay, so are you afraid that you don't have what it takes? A lot of times I hear this from people. They're like, I want to be a leader. I want to make a difference. I have this massive mission. I want to inspire, or I want to affect lots and lots of people, but I'm not a born leader. I don't have leadership skills. In fact, I don't even know how to lead. So if this is you, I just want you to take a deep breath. I know you wouldn't have been attracted to this training if you didn't have what it takes, right? Part of discovering your leadership style, the type of leadership that you have inside of you, is relaxing into the fact that you can be a leader, that you do have what it takes, and it just might not look like, right? Where the tension might be is that it just might not look like what you think it has to look like. So a little background on me before we get started. I feel like this is important. So that's a picture of my husband and I. I came to leadership actually as a cross-country and track coach. So I grew up doing gymnastics, which is funny because if you've seen me in person, I'm like 5'8", and running cross-country and track. That wound up being the better sport for me. But these are individual sports that you win as a team. And as a high school and collegiate cross-country and track coach, I gained a reputation for creating winning teams no matter what the talent pool. So what I learned to do really well was to create this culture of success, where if you came into my culture, you became part of a winning team. And the most important thing I learned from being an athlete as a coach is that successful teams generally have more than one leader. So what I think I said this already, but what I learned is to create a culture of success. And that means that you have to lift up other leaders and leave a legacy of leadership. And that's actually what I help entrepreneurs like you do now, because what I already know about you is that whether you're in network marketing or you're just I don't want to say just a coach, but you're, that's like saying just a mom. Whether you're in network marketing or you're an entrepreneur of a different kind. I tend to attract a lot of coaches and psychics and healers. You have a service-based business. You're still leaving a legacy of leadership, right? What we're doing is affecting people deeply, changing their lives, changing who they are so that they can go out into the world and create that ripple effect. That happens whether you're building a network marketing team or whether you're working one-on-one with people. Tell me if I'm going too fast, Karla.
You're good.
Okay, so I have another question for the chat. I would like to know, what are the qualities of a leader? What are qualities that you believe a leader must have? Like, in order for you to see someone as a leader, or in order for someone to be seen as a leader in your company, on social media, what types of qualities do you believe a leader must have? And I'm going to take a drink while you guys answer that.
Julia says confidence.
Amen to that, sister. And hi, Julia. Julia's my friend. I haven't seen her like since forever. Since before summer, I think.
Tina says sincere and trustworthy. Integrity. Strength in public speaking. Listener. Carrie's a writer, just so you guys know, and not in two ways. She's an amazing writer, but she writes everything down. That's how
I am. I'm a note taker.
Yeah.
Strength in public speaking. Okay, show of hands. Who doesn't feel confident in their strength in public speaking? And Karla and I are speakers, so we do this regularly.
You know how sick I get every time?
I am totally fine speaking to large groups. What I struggle with is having to deliver a speech, right? That's a really different skill set. So even those of us who I speak all the time, but like having a speech makes my armpits sweat. Okay, anything else coming up?
Thanks for that, by the way.
I'm keeping it real, is that I'm sincere in this moment. I'm being vulnerable, letting you know.
Your armpit sweat and my mouth dries up like a raisin, and my lips stick together.
Oh, that happens to me too, which is so awkward on video. Okay. Any other words were coming in for our leadership, qualities they need to have? I'll take that as a no. So yes, these are all important qualities of a leader, right? I didn't hear some things like punitive or, I don't know, strong personality, which sometimes I hear. Confidence people tend to associate confidence with a strong personality, but confidence doesn't necessarily mean that. I love that you guys are saying trustworthy, integrity, that they're a good listener. Oh, and Rude Ronnie's like spinning at the moment. That was making me dizzy. Okay, so yes, these are all important qualities of a leader. Ultimately, we can talk about, right, there are lots of different types of leaders. I introduced myself as a conversational leader. I've been called a charismatic leader. I've been called an inspirational leader, and I own all of that stuff. But when it comes down to it, there's really two kinds. There's a positional leader, right? And that's the picture on top on your screen, right? Where that's the boss. That's the teacher in the classroom. That's the person in the military who has a higher rank than you, right? It's the person who is in a position of leadership, whether or not they're actually a good leader. And those of you who have been in corporate for a while, you know people are often promoted to their level of incompetency, right? They're promoted to leadership before they actually have the leadership skills, right? But what happens, and I'm going to talk about network marketing specifically, right, is that in order to get that position of leadership in a network marketing company, usually there's some sort of maybe Karla, you can talk to this, but like in the network marketing companies that I've been in, there's two kinds of leaders that are like exalted leaders in the company. There's some that are these amazing charismatic leaders who have inspired millions to join the company. And then there's somebody who has, who's risen quickly because they have some like new slick strategy. Is that fair and accurate?
Fair.
Okay. And the new slick strategy guy may or may not actually be a leader, right? So he's put in a position of leadership because he's figured something out. He or she has figured something out. And we're told to follow that person. And yet, how many of you have been in companies where that person speaks at an event and everybody's told, like, do what they do, and at the next company event, they're not even in the company anymore? I see nods. Because that's not a true leader. So an authentic leader is, right, this one is showing the person in the front, but an authentic leader is just your teammate on the journey. An authentic leader who is somebody who's in it with you, right? So those like leaders that inspire people to do what they're doing, and you want to be a part of them, and you want to be on their team, that's an authentic leader. That's somebody who's doing it right. It's not about their slick strategy. It's that you feel like you're in it with them and they feel like they're in it with you. I'm hitting the space. Okay. I'm going to skip this slide because I feel like you guys, well, I guess I'm not skipping this slide. So I'm asking, why is it important to become a leader? Let's just actually, can you answer that in the chat? Let me know, or someone can even unmute. I would love to know why you're here, right? Why did you choose this training to figure out your leadership type? So why is it important for you to become that leader?
Don't make me call on you.
I see movement in the chat, so.
People need guidance and encouragement, yes.
Yeah. All
Leslie,
right.
Lisa, Teresa, Connie, Tina, anybody want to answer this question? Why is it important to become a leader? Why is it important to you to become a leader?
Yeah, there's no right answer, by the way. Like, this isn't Karla and I said, because in order to be great leaders to you on this training, we need to know, why is this so important to you? Why is it important for you to understand your own leadership type? Why is it important? I believe leadership is really just living in your gifts. So why is that so important to you?
So Tina wrote, I guess I don't think, but Tina, I think Carrie just answered that, right? So she doesn't, Tina wrote, I don't think of it so much as the leader versus the fullest, best version of myself. And that's what you just basically said, just differently right now, Carrie, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Lisa says marketing. So you're talking about a brand, a leadership brand in that case, correct?
Yeah. Yeah, marketing in terms of, right, and in the coaching industry, we talk about becoming an authority in your niche, right, or positioning yourself as an authority. And that's feeling confident in your own skin, when you're on Facebook Lives, when you're stating your opinion.
It ends up being that one word that I hear throughout our conversation is confidence. And Tina added to that, which I think is beautiful. I want to be the best, most powerful, strong version of myself.
Amen, Tina. Okay, that's why we are here. So the truth for me, this is what I believe, is that if you are called to serve, you are called to lead. And so my hope is that most of you are here because on some level, you feel called to serve others. You want to lead people through some sort of journey, some sort of transformation. You want to lead them to where they want to go because that's being in service to them. And if you do it right, it's also being in service to your own gifts. And where it starts to feel icky and uncomfortable and awkward, and why so many network marketers and just regular online marketers start to feel out of whack, is when we get stuck in like knowing there's a system and a formula that works, but not feeling confident or comfortable or aligned in that system. I was just in a conversation with a friend, and we were talking specifically about that issue where, like, you know what you need to do, but if you do it, you feel like crap, right? Because it doesn't feel right doing it. It feels inauthentic. It feels icky. But if you don't do it, you also feel like crap because you feel like you let yourself down and you're not following the system and you're beating yourself up. So part of what we want to do today, and what Karla and I do in our Authentic You program, is to help you be able to do it and not feel like crap, right? Help you to do it in a way that feels amazing because it is who you are and what you stand for. So I want to point out that on this slide, I have hashtag Carrieism, because I have all these things and you do too. There are all these things that you say all the time. There are these things that are part of the culture of you. So I have some Carrieisms that are mine that come out of my own mouth, and I'm like, oh my God, that was genius. I had one of those at Karla's event where I was speaking at her event. I literally said something and I stopped and I was like, you guys, did you just hear that? So there's some of those. And then there's also ones that you've adopted from other people, right? So one of the things that I say all the time, so there are two kinds of people in the world. There are lifters, which are people who lift you up, right? That while you're in their presence, you feel good. You're inspired to be a better version of yourself. And there are leaners, not leader, but leaner, right? Like they're literally leaning on you, pulling you down. And the way you can tell which one they are is when you look at your caller ID, right? Like it becomes so clear when you see their name on your caller ID. So those are Carrieisms. And that one's not mine. I think that one's John Maxwell. But you have your isms. So I got sidetracked. But if you are called to serve, you're called to lead. And I believe that you guys are called to serve. So ultimately, the job of a leader is not to take people from step A to step B, to step C, to step Z, right? Some leaders operate that way. But a real leader's job is just to create the culture of success. And I want you guys to hear this, especially network marketers. It's not your job to make sure that every person does everything. That's not a leader, that's a manager. A leader's job is to create a culture of success. It's to remind people where they're going and encourage them on the journey. But how do you do that, right? Each of you are here because you have your own unique style of doing that, whether or not you know what that is. But here's a few quick tips on how to do that. So first things first, this is a Carrieism. I don't know who I stole it from or if it came from myself, but I use it all the time now. And that is, you behave like the person that you want to become. So when Karla talked about the beginning of the training, the be, do, have, this is about the being. It's about understanding who you want to be, right? So your ideal version of yourself and behaving like that person. That is so different than faking it till you make it. So I want you guys to feel into that distinction. Behave like the person you want to become. Behave like the person you truly are and not the person you're just used to behaving like. Which means for most people, staying in integrity. And always ask yourself this question: what's the most loving action? What's the most loving response? Because I happen to know already about you that you are a loving person, that you want the best for other people, right? And so asking yourself, staying in integrity means asking that question: what's the most loving action and what's the most loving response? You also, especially from a marketing perspective, so those of you who said, for marketing, I need to be a leader, you must know who you are and what you stand for. This is your brand. So Karla talks about this all the time to network marketers, but your brand is not your company. You are your brand. Who you are and what you stand for, that energetic soup that you live in, that is your brand. And you've got to know your isms. So that's Carrieisms, not like your quirks or your, but the things, who you are and what you stand for, the things you say all the time, the things that are important to you. And then a great leader needs to listen to their team or their tribe, right? Or your email list, whatever you want to call it. You need to know. Why do you think I've been asking you guys questions throughout this training? You've got to know their goals. You've got to know their hopes and dreams, right? So that you can speak to them and you can support them. There's no point in being on the leader of an expedition that doesn't go where people want to actually go, right? Like if you all want to go to Hawaii and I'm like, everybody on the bus, we're going to Bakersfield. Like nobody's going to follow me, right? You need to know where they want to go. What are their dreams? But ultimately, you guys, a real leader lifts up other leaders. A real leader understands that they can't be all things to all people, that there is way more than one way way more than just my way of doing things, right? And our job as leaders, as people who are fully confident in who we are and what we're meant to be, our job is to help other people to feel that too. But you cannot give what you don't have, which is why we're offering this training, right? If you don't feel 100% confident in the bullet points on here, if you like kind of know who you are and what you stand for, but when you get on Facebook Live, you're afraid of offending people, then there's some work to be done, right? There's some inner work that needs to happen. If you are remember I talked in the beginning about having such belief in what you have to offer, but feeling awkward or inauthentic when you are enrolling people or making your offer, then there's some work to do on the type of leader that you are, right? And standing in your truth, your strength, and your power. All right, I'm going to keep going because I feel like I need to keep going. So when you do those things, right? When you do what I just had on this last slide, you behave like the person you want to become. You know who you are and what you stand for. You're listening to your team and you are lifting up other leaders. Then you instill a we mentality, right? You get loud and clear that this is your business, the mission that you're on is bigger than you, right? There's no I in team. This is a we space, which is another Carrieism, because you fully get that together everyone achieves more. So you've stepped, even if your company puts you in a position of leadership and they say, look at Karla Silver, she's, what do you call it? Triple grand unicorn.
Yes. A platinum unicorn leprechaun diamond.
Yes.
President. Right.
Even if your network marketing company has exalted you to one of those positions, or you're, you now have this huge following on social media. The truth is, right, your success depends on people joining your movement and together everyone achieving more. So I love that definition of team. Okay, I've gone really, really quickly and I've hit the slide for authentic you, recognizing full well that we haven't gone deep into anybody's leadership style yet. So Karla, is there anything in the chat we need to address right now?
No, a lot of agreement. Tina said the grand poobah.
Right.
No, but come back. Let's have a chat.
Okay. Well, let me see. Because I can't see my slides. There's a little bit more about authentic you. And then my last question about.
So let's talk and then let's go back.
Okay.
Because I want to be able to get to some questions that people might have. And I want to finish my story from before. Yeah. So one of the things that every single entrepreneur in the world struggles with is something called the imposter syndrome. And it can rear its ugly head when you are brand new. It can rear its ugly head when you've been in business 15 years, 20 years, 50 years. It really doesn't matter. And imposter syndrome, for those who have not heard it before, it's just, I actually don't know the definition. But for most people, it shows up in all the things that I talked about in the beginning of our conversation. Like when I first started at the beginning of our conversation, when I first started as an entrepreneur, I was coming off a long corporate background where I did really well. I was perfectly confident being in front of that company or companies. But when suddenly I'm in front of my own business and my own stuff, and I'm trying to sell my own thing, it becomes like awful. There was this awful feeling of I'm faking it. I'm this imposter. Who would follow me? Why should this person get started with me? Why should I don't deserve, millions of dollars. There's all this crap that goes on in our head. Who's experienced that, right? I'm thinking probably, unless you're a robot on this call, that you have all experienced that in some form or fashion. And I struggle with that, and I still struggle with that on and off when I'm making big, you will too, until you find the formula to handle it, right? And when you're making a big up level and you're going to the next level, there's all of the insecurities, all of the imposter syndrome will raise its head again. And I know that and I just did some math that I have to share with you. First 2 years of being an entrepreneur, the company that I was with told me that I had to talk to 90 people a week. So I figured out how to talk to 90 people a week about my opportunity. I talk to 90 people a week, year 1 goes by. I talk to 90 people a week, year 2 goes by. And then I didn't take any time off because I couldn't afford to take any time off. So guys, I just did the math. That's 9,000 conversations. 9,000 conversations, and I couldn't pay my rent. So a couple of things were happening during that time. Obviously, the company that I was with was a personal development company. So just by mistake, I was working on my own personal development simply because that was the product. So when I wasn't doing the doing, because I'm a doing girl, I was actually sometimes paying attention to the personal development aspect during that first 2 years. And then I went to a company event. How many of you guys go to, for those of you that are network marketers, how many of you go to company events? And this will apply to any entrepreneur, guys, right? You go to a company event, and it doesn't matter if you're a coach, you have a service, you have a product, it doesn't matter. This will apply to anyone. So I went to an event, and my husband and I won the production award. I didn't even know that this was going to happen. There was some big award for like the person that was doing the thing, right? And so we won this award. We had no idea. The person that was in second place was making $1 million a year, and we weren't being able to pay our rent. So guys, we were doing the do. After that event, the owner of that company turned to us and said, "You guys are going to make a ton of money." Now, after that event, we went on and made a ton of money. Now, I'm not here to tell you that you need to have a leader of a company tell you that you can make a ton of money. That's not my point. What my point is that there was something that happened in our heads as a result of doing the do and then realizing that we had what it took to be a leader in that company. We had what it took to lead people into the company. We didn't have to change a thing about what we did, but what we did had a mind shift. And that's exactly what we're going to be talking about, guys. What we're going to be doing with you in Authentic You. For those of you that might be just hearing about Authentic You for the very first time, Authentic You is a deep dive 4-week leadership program that Carrie and I have put together. We have gone through the program 1 time so far with a group of individuals that have experienced exponential results. I mean, I feel like I'm bragging on myself a little bit, but I got to brag on the attendees, because what they did is that they showed up for 4 solid weeks, twice a week, and they did the work. They did the work through the program, and as a result, they've had incredible financial and personal results as a result of spending a 30-day period working on themselves, their mindset, identifying who they are, who they stand for, what they stand for, and implementing the things that we taught them over that 4-week period. And I want you guys to understand that this is 4 weeks with both Carrie and myself, twice a week, in a very, because obviously we can't affect change in a huge group. We have max 20 people in the group, max. It's really tough to get even one more person in at 20 people, max 20 people in the group. And we're asking for people that are interested in really up-leveling themselves, are really interested in finally being able to attract that team, finally being able to be absolutely 100% confident in who they are and what they stand for, so that confidence is one of the most sexy, and I don't mean that in a sex way. I mean, it is a sexy, attractive formula that honestly people throw money at people's faces when they have that confidence, right? You have that. I have somebody that I work with, and I'm like, every time I see this person, I'm like, that person, no wonder he's made millions of dollars, because he's 1,000% confident in what he has to offer. That's what we're selling here today, guys. Actually, that's it. We're selling the opportunity to emerge at the end of October. We're going to start on October 3rd, I believe, right, Carrie?
I think it's the 2nd.
October 2nd. We meet on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and this is an opportunity for you to emerge at the end of October with that unshakable confidence that you require to build the business of your dreams. I mentioned this on a Facebook Live yesterday. Was that only yesterday? Holy cow.
Yeah.
Yesterday, that we can teach you all the groundwork, right? We can teach you the tactics, how to do a Facebook Live, the elements of a video, how to generate never-ending leads, how to do X, Y, and Z, and do it in this order, and put the sales funnel together. And we can teach you how to do all of that. But if you haven't made this leap into, and it's not about being another different leader. It's about being that confident leader in yourself, that a couple things won't happen. You won't attract the people you require to build your business. You won't be able to, you will stop and start in your execution. You will feel out of integrity. You will continue to feel out of integrity. You will also not have the resources that you require internally to face that imposter syndrome and punch it in the face, right? I had to punch that sucker recently, right? And it appeared for me as well. Again, if you are looking to really build your business, and the incredible free gift that Facebook has given us, it gives you the tools to be able to feel confident about talking and articulating your message to the world. And that's what we're selling. We're not selling a leadership course. If we were selling a regular everyday leadership course, I'd tell you to go over to Eric Worre and spend $5,000 with him, because that's what he charges for his leadership courses. And they're fine. You can learn all of the different X, Y, and Z stuff about leadership. But we're looking not to do that. We're looking to affect internal change and give you the tools that you require to continually ratcheting up your abilities and ratcheting up your confidence and ratcheting up your business to hit your financial goals. So I probably have talked too long. I'll hand it over to you, Carrie.
Did you see me like
get any questions? I know, it's just like.
Well, there is one question I want to address, but I want to make sure that we're that one, we deliver what we promised today, right? Which is to help you guys discover your leadership style. Hopefully most of you are already recognizing like, oh, I would like to be an authentic leader. My leadership style is authentic. It's not positional. Because maybe you have not yet been positioned as the grand poobah in your company yet, right? But you can still be an authentic leader and attract your tribe, attract your right people. I want to say enroll them confidently into your team, into your opportunity, into your products, programs, and services, right? That you can be that, you can be who you already are and show up authentically and wonderful, and that the right people will find you and follow you. But Karla talked about authentic you, and like you could go to Eric Worre, and I just want to make sure that you guys are super clear. Like there's plenty of leadership trainings that teach tactics that are super important, right? Like, you know, what to do with a team and what process to take people through. And there's lots of leadership stuff out there. Plenty of it Karla and I can teach you, but that's not what we do in Authentic You. So the question from Lisa was, give us an example of the types of activities people will be doing. So this is
great question. Go for it, Carrie.
Well, it's a little bit tricky because, okay, I'll just tell you, right? There's so much power in the being in the space and doing it together. So I'm going to be like straight up honest. A lot of what winds up happening is this intangible, like psychic energy work stuff. And for those of you who just went, what the hell, I don't want to be a part of that. It's not scary. Oh, my phone's ringing. It's just what happens, right? So part of what's going to happen in this small, intimate group is that Karla and I create a space where everybody is safe to show up as they truly are. So one of the first things that we do in this group is actually define what an authentic leader is. And that sounds like a simple task, except that in the defining of it, the way we do it, right, stuff comes up. Like people's stuff comes up, our resistance comes up. The way we ask you to do it, you will be digging deep into your stuff. And what emerges is who you want to be and who you already are. So, I mean, I can give lots of examples of the things that we do. Oh, people are shifting around on my screen. I can give lots of examples of the things that we do, but I also want to be clear that just know it, so we're going to create a manifesto. You're going to get your manifesto. You're going to get your isms, right? You're going to get super clear on your values, which is who you are and what you stand for. But quite frankly, like just rattling off the things we do doesn't do justice to the magic that happens when we all get together and be real, because you will see the other people in the group for who they truly are, and you will be seen for who you truly are. And when that happens, you already feel like a powerful leader. So I don't know if that answered your question, but Karla, did you want to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, we could give you a whole long checklist and we can go through what we're doing week by week. But
Go ahead.
The journey is all about your personal transformation. And so, and therefore it does change, right? Because the group changes and what the group needs on a specific day will change.
So let me share my screen with you because I have some of that in the last part of the presentation. And so, oh, what happened? My screen disappeared. Hold please while you're looking at my conversation with me and Karla. Stop share. Where did my screen go? Here it is. Okay. Now I'm not sharing my screen. Exit full screen. That was the secret. All right. Let me try sharing my screen one more time. All right. Let's see what happens when we do that. Okay. So now I can go to presenting mode.
You're so good at this.
I'm getting it. So, right, one of the things we're obviously sell is to quickly build your business by being more of yourself. So Karla and I are on a mission to help entrepreneurs become authentic leaders. You absolutely must be in order to build the kind of business and income you dream of. But we want to make sure you understand, which you probably already do, what an authentic leader is not the same thing as a born leader, right? Some of us are born amazing, authentic leaders already. But once you go through authentic you'll be confident in who you are so that you can show up as that amazing, authentic leader. My dogs are about to bark, Karla. So do you want to, oh, maybe they're going to not bark. So this is just talking about even the most introverted wallflower can become the authentic leader with a thriving business.
Stop you right there because this one, guys, I don't know if you know this, but I am painfully introverted. So I am that introverted wallflower. Like at events, I'm the person leaning against the wall looking at their phone.
And I'm not painfully introverted, but I am an ambivert. Like people think I'm this huge extrovert because I'm an authentic leader, but I'm not. I need my alone time, my me time. I'm not interested in being at a party ever.
I was just going to say same thing. So guys, here are two people in front of you that have achieved quite a lot over the past few years that just discovered we went through ourselves what we're going to teach you. And we've been able to build very, very big businesses and teams.
All right. But somebody asked for, oh man, now my computer's not letting me. Okay. If you go to this site, which I'll go to in just a minute, if you want, there's a course breakdown. There's some deliverables on that page. And maybe actually, Karla, you can share that page on your screen.
Sure.
Because, and I hopefully this will answer, but ultimately I would love to know each of you, after having been through this training, right, on authentic leadership, is what is your authentic leadership style? And I recognize I didn't give you a list of styles, and that was intentional. So while Karla pulls up the page for Authentic You, I would love it if you guys would write in the chat what you believe your authentic leadership style is. So my example, right, I said I'm casual. I'm a casual, conversational, inspirational leader. I have claimed those as my leadership styles. Because the truth is, you're allowed to have, once you feel confident, you're allowed to have whatever leadership style feels right to you. So I'm going to stop my share and read the chat.
I'm going to start my share.
Okay.
And you could, while you're reading the chat.
Oh, Lisa's loving my dog.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to make this small so I can see you guys. Awesome. Okay, guys. This is the website. It's karlasilver.com/authentic you. And please take the time to read through this. It isn't a big fancy website. We're not interested in, all this flash, etc. Obviously, you're here. You're not listening to us do this big old markety. If you don't do this, you're going to fall on your face for the rest of your life, and you're never going to make the jump. I just know that it took me 2 years and 9,000 freaking phone calls for somebody to actually help me make that jump. So here's what we're going to get done. Let me get here in 4 weeks. We're going to help you develop that unshakable confidence that honestly, just even if we only did that, it would be worth the time you spend. But in order for us to help you identify that confidence, we really have to go deep into what makes you tick as a human being, right? So that you're not looking at your next person that comes up to you as like, oh, my special precious lead, right? So that you're confident and you understand yourself, understand what is holding you back. We all have different limiting beliefs. We all have them. We will continue to have them. And we have to be able to look them straight in the eye and be able to deal with them. Understanding your true strengths. And this is probably the most important part, because many of us are taught to downplay our strengths. And if we can just step into that strength, maybe your strength is being able to, once you have a conversation with somebody, to be able to understand what they're not doing, to help them see what they're not doing, to move forward. Whatever it is that your strength is, you have it. And you're probably what is the word I'm looking for? Pushing it down. And we want you to be able to live in your true strengths, because that's what's going to give you the confidence to be that leader. And that leader is, just a word that we use for the outcome that we're looking to achieve here. We look very closely at what your personal purpose is in your life. And I guarantee you, you will finish our time together as a different person. Carrie mentioned that we're going to create a manifesto. Also, we're going to give you the tools that you need to keep creating over and over and over again your new self. And then I'm going to share with you a specific strategy that so many top producers in any kind of field, whether it's athletes, Hollywood, music, politics, corporate America, entrepreneurship, one specific tool that will help you bridge from where you are right now to becoming that successful leader. And I can't wait to do that. It's pretty fun. We also have, these are just the testimonials from our very first time that we went through Authentic You a couple of months ago, and there are even more down here. So if you need to take the time to watch them, there's even more in this video. We're very, very, very proud of what we were able to create, number one, but more importantly, we're even more proud of what we were able to create and help the participants in Authentic You create as far as results are concerned. So here's the deal. We will be closing registration. And at the risk of sounding like a marketer, which I am, the risk, I have to tell you, we will be closing registration. We are limiting for 20, so it's in your best interest. Get any kind of questions that you might have, and please ask them in the chat. Getting any questions that you might have answered, because the transformation that can happen, guys, that transformation from me, somebody saying to me, you're going to make a ton of money, and millions of dollars later, is the kind of transformation that I experience. And there's no reason, and I don't know what your definition of success is. It could be completely, I'm sure that it's completely different than mine, but we can help you get there. So if you're in network marketing, what would 2 new business builders do for your business just 2 every single month? Right? That can transform 2, and helping them develop their leadership skills can translate into thousands and thousands. And if you're out of network marketing and an entrepreneur, like so many people that are here on this Zoom, what would 2 or 3 new customers make? Just small numbers. And I just want to underscore the fact that this is a screaming deal. So here's what the deal is. The Authentic You is typically $1,495. For this time around, our second time around, we are going to show up, private coaching with you, private small group coaching with you twice a week for 4 weeks to help you step into that future of yours for $997 only. So definitely go to karlasilver.com/authentic you. Make that happen like today. Please put your questions in the chat, because you deserve to get your questions handled so that you can make a relaxed and intelligent decision about whether you're going to play big or whether you're going to stay where you are right now. So Carrie, you have anything to add to that?
No, but yes. No, yes. One of my favorite things that you say, Karla, is make a relaxed and intelligent decision. Like, I love that so much. I love that that's who you are, even just in terms of course, we're selling a program, right? But yes, Jonathan, you are already in. Of course, we're selling a program, but I love the way that you sell. You sell in such an authentic leadership style. Like there's no fear mongering. There's no, if you don't take this course, you're never, ever, ever going to succeed, right? It's like, make a relaxed decision. If you know this is the next best step for you, which I know it must be for a lot of you, because only one person was able to answer the question of what kind of a leader they are. And it was Rudrani, who's a graduate of Authentic You. So, and that's why we did this training, you guys, is there's not leadership and becoming an authentic leader. It's not about like, what box do I tick? What mold do I fit into? Because you are uniquely designed to be you. Right? You are uniquely designed to be your brand of leader. And part of what we do in Authentic You is help you feel confident in who you are and what you are about, and how you're meant to show up here in this one life that you have. And
I want to interrupt you, because here's what we want. We just want to shorten the distance between where you are right now and where you want to be. And we know we can do it. We know we can do it. So I beg of you to get your questions answered and then move powerfully forward in the direction of your dreams, your goals, and your aspirations. I'm sorry, Carrie, I just had to interrupt you. I apologize.
No, and so that's what I was going to say is, the first time we offered this program, these calls, a lot of them, the questions were like, well, what if I can't make it? Or what if, and here's the thing, there is an expectation that you go all in, that you dedicate this 1 month of your life to solving your imposter syndrome, to solving that tension of feeling out of alignment or icky or not feeling right when you're making your offer, to solving that problem of not feeling like you are behaving like the person that you want to become, or feeling like that future version of you is still, you're not getting any closer to her, right? Like as you move forward on your timeline, she's staying just as far away from you as she was when you started, or he. I know there's several dudes here. And I lost my train of thought where I was going with that. Oh, but it does, there is a certain amount of commitment involved, right? This is a deep dive into who you are and what you are about. But it's a game changer. It's the one thing. Like there's all these other things that people are selling you about your business. Just do this, just do that, just take these actions, right? But if you are not authentic and aligned and solid in who you are while you're taking those actions, they don't work, right? That's why you've taken, how to do Facebook Live course and you still aren't showing up on Facebook Live, right? That's why you've, enrolled in whatever you've enrolled in, and it's still, there's pieces that you haven't put into place, or you're working just like Karla was, like working the strategy, but the strategy wasn't working until she stepped into her truth of who she is as a leader. So that's what this month is about. Karla's holding up her 9,000.
I'm just particularly floored myself.
But this month is meant to it's an intensive, it's a deep dive, but it's 4 weeks that can change everything. And yes, I'm super passionate about it because I know it works. Okay, off my soapbox. Are there any other questions?
Yep, last chance for questions, guys. Put them in, no matter what they are.
That just made me think there are no stupid questions, just stupid people. That's not a very nice thing to say. I think I had a teacher who said that once.
Really?
Yeah. There are no stupid people or stupid questions in this group, so don't be afraid to ask. And if you don't have,
I definitely want to just say welcome to Kelly and Jonathan for sure. I know that you're in, and if you guys don't have any other questions, I'll see you in the course.
Yeah. So Connie's asking, how about getting clarity on what your offer is going to be if you're in between? I don't know what she's asking.
It has nothing to do with your offer. Connie, this kind of, and what I think she means, Connie, tell me if she's not in front of a company right now. So it's your offer. And here's the beautiful thing. Connie, your offer is you. And that's the great thing, and that's the scary thing. And that is why people start and stop, why people have imposter syndrome, why people don't go live on Facebook Live, why they don't move ahead, why they don't attract that team, is that they're not solid with what they're offering. So that is what you're going to get for sure clear on.
Oh my God. And this is divine timing for you, Connie, because I know Connie was in front of a network marketing opportunity, and I don't know, I'm guessing if you're not in front of that opportunity anymore, maybe you're looking for another opportunity, maybe you're just figuring it out. But this is the perfect time, right? Because if you are looking for another network marketing opportunity, you will be so clear on what's right and what's not right. Like it'll be quick like that. But also you'll be building your brand and building who you are and who you want to attract. So when you get in front of that, whatever your next opportunity is, you'll have your built-in tribe, right? You'll have your ready to go people. So yay.
Right. Thanks for the hearts, Connie. Welcome aboard. Jonathan, we'll send out the recording for sure. And thanks. But we've got your back.
But this is important too, because I know there are a lot of you who are leaders already, or you've been seen as a positional leader, but you're not feeling like the authentic leader that you need to be. So for sure, then you can share this with the people on your team, anybody who you think is ready for this. Of course, we'll send you the recording.
I know actually of one person that she's recommending this to her entire team.
Yeah.
So, which means that, guys, you need to make the decision. Please make the decision quickly, especially if you make the decision and you wait, and then you have to wait till next year to join us. And so I know me, if a Band-Aid has to be pulled off at some point, And we are a beautiful, pleasurable Band-Aid. But I like to rip that thing off as quickly as possible rather than going slowly. So we'd love to see you. We're going to get started. Is that next week? Week after next.
Yeah. I'm like, next week.
It's next week.
Yeah. It's, yes, today's Monday. We really do have our stuff together. I promise. We'll yes, today's Monday. So yeah, it's next week.
All right, guys. Any last questions? All right, we've gone longer than our hour. Carrie,
yep.
Thank you for being here by my side in so many more ways than one. Thank you guys so much for attending. Paula, Jonathan, Rudrani, Lisa, Connie, and the others, Lisa, etc. It's been our pleasure, and we're grateful that you spent this hour with us, and we look forward to spending 8 more hours with you inside of Authentic You. So go to karlasilver.com/authentic you. Get the rest of your questions handled. Please feel free to reach out to us on Facebook or wherever if you have anything else or any other concerns, and we'll be happy to work with you. Bye, everybody.